this quest to bring impact and purpose. And I think this is what drives me.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started.
20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo,
And in media partnership with CTech.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today, I'm with Larisa Amir, Managing Director of Merck's Healthcare R&D Center in Israel. She's the member of Merck Global Healthcare Discovery Technology Leadership Team, leading global projects and teams across geographies and cultures. She's also part of a Women in Leadership program, mentoring leaders in healthcare. Larisa is an executive leader with broad experience in the pharmaceutical industry, from large-scale companies through small, medium businesses to startups. She has extended experience in process development, analytics, manufacturing, and technology transfer in the frame of pharmaceutical regulation. Larisa is involved in major business decisions of startups, companies' growth strategy, product portfolio due diligence, and technology evaluation for potential strategic collaborations with companies or investors. Welcome, Larisa Amir, Managing Director of Merck R&D Center in Israel. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Really excited to be with you.
I'm excited to dive into your world for these 20 short but awesome minutes, the world of healthcare, the world of Merck, the world of research and development from your side. Before we dive into Merck, research and development, what does it even mean to be the managing director of it, and what your personal passions are within your current line of work? Tell me a little bit about your own journey. We just shared with the audience a little bit about who you are and your past experiences, but connect the dots for me as to sort of what brought you to the person you are today.
With pleasure. Actually, I've started my professional career as a lab scientist at a young Israeli biotech company, which was a joint venture with the Weizmann Institute, with a clear vision to develop recombinant proteins for therapeutic use. At the time, I can share that this was a completely new domain in pharmaceutical development, using novel recombinant DNA technology for biological drug development. I guess you know that traditionally drug development was of chemical molecule entities, not biological large molecule. And so obviously it felt super pioneering, and also it was a quiet, enlightening period of time where I actually learned what was required to develop, manufacture, analyze a new molecule and taking through the entire regulatory path and eventually register it as a new medicine for patients. It's super exciting. And eventually this drug became a blockbuster drug, today selling annually in more than 1 billion euro worldwide. So I think it's quite an achievement for a small biotech company in Israel. And for me, obviously, it enabled a very steep learning curve. And since then, I have had a very dynamic career. Joining a startup company in the field of glycobiology, where we were pioneering with glycoanalysis using lectin on a chip. Then later, I took a consultancy role supporting small emerging biotech companies in the field of regulatory and compliance and product registration. And again, here, one of the companies actually reached the market and widely used with their hepatitis B vaccine. And now I'm over a decade with Merck, which is a multinational company, as you know. And at Merck, I had done local, regional, and global position, basically leading projects and team of increasing scale and scope across borders and continents. And I can share that my last role actually required a relocation to Germany,
Mhm.
which I did alone, without my family.
Wow.
Where I spent nearly 3 years. So basically, I've taken a global product quality position, leading multinational group, which was responsible for the product quality of healthcare portfolio, basically late stage and early stage molecular development, as well as life cycle management of commercial product. So really the entire healthcare portfolio. And here again, I can proudly share that during this period of time, Merck has launched a last product. And my team is heavily supported with that launch, which is a cancer treatment for non-small cell lung cancer for patient with a specific genetic mutation. And 6 months ago, I'm back to Israel, becoming the managing director of the Healthcare Research Center. And I'm proud and privileged to lead a group of talented and creative scientists, which are today part of the global R&D organization and are involved in several strategic global discoveries.
Phenomenal. Obviously, I have to say that your dedication and your scientific nature and your love for the science and for the research and the innovation here really, it shines through. And I'm curious to dive deep a little bit onto that. So you as a researcher, as a lab scientist, as an innovator in this field, let's dive in a little bit what that means to you. What does that process entail for you as a researcher, and what really does it align with your own set of values or characteristics?
So I think looking at I think I can think of several, things that brought me to who I am today. So obviously one of them, myself, my personality, my characteristic, my background. I think ever since I remember myself, I've always wanted to do something meaningful. But you may say, who doesn't? I mean, I always wanted to make an impact and always had this starvation to do more and more. And I always asked myself, what's next? So with this constant wish to go beyond and above, and I think that this is something with my inner personality. And so this has been enabled, obviously, in this development, in this biotech world, which always there are new things and there is purpose and there is an impact because we are touching, human lives.
Of course. How do you choose what problems to deal with? How do you choose what, as a scientist, you can decide to dive into many different fields. How do you decide what is the most relevant field for you right now to be dedicating, either as a lab scientist back then when you just started, or even more so today as an R&D managing director, that you have to now sort of shine the light on what's the relevant direction here?
So I think that it's as part of the global organization. Basically, you are you follow the global strategy. It's not
Sure.
that you are you don't do what you want. You are in line with the global strategy. And one thing which is strongly I advocate is that we need. It's a small site in Israel, part of the global R&D. We need to be globally integrated, not locally independent. And so, obviously, we do bring a lot of ideas and innovation to the table, and this goes through the big company governance, and we choose. But this all needs to be within the strategy of Merck, which is today immunology and oncology mainly. So these are the driving force. Of course, we are complementing it with an external innovation, and we are constantly looking at, the Israeli biotech is, the Israeli ecosystem, let's say, is super vibrant and rich in ideas. And we at Merck are super open for collaborating with the academic groups, with the entrepreneurs, with clinical and research sites. So we are in all kind of different, models. So, and I think that this is also enriching the R&D internally.
Incredible. And so if you're looking now at you as a managing director of the R&D, what is your vision for Merck in Israel? What is your vision for you as a managing director here of this R&D center? Where is it at today? Where do you hope for it to become, and what needs to happen for it to be that way?
So I think the challenge ahead of us, and I think it's well known that the biotech process aiming to reach the patient is very lengthy and is very costly process. It takes on an average, 12 to 15 years and approximately, 2.5 billion euros to bring a product to the patient, to the market. And so I think that all pharma companies aspire to enable faster and precise development of innovative medicine with less failure at the end of the road. And to do so, we will need, as a whole, all the pharma companies to capitalize on early stage breakthrough innovation and of disruptive technologies, mainly coming from this intersection of biology and technology, basically combining bio and tech capabilities, bringing, computational and prediction tools, artificial intelligence tools, machine learning, robotics, 3D printing, organ on a chip, human tissue samples, and many, many more technologies to make this what we call translational process from molecule discovery to human medicine more efficient, more precise, and more sustainable by maybe reducing use of animal for preclinical testing. And all these efforts are already started to be done, and hopefully ending up with more success at the end of the road. And I think that this would be possible through collaboration, as I said, with academic groups, with research centers, with the clinical centers where they own the clinical data and hospital, as well as with the governmental programs, entrepreneurs with the, state of the art technologies, and with also, competitive industries. And in this field of AI, we are now collaborating with 4 different multinationals. So we have AstraZeneca, Teva, Merck, and the third one, Pfizer. Yeah, together with Amazon Web Services. So this is basically a collaboration to see how we can reduce or make it more effective, efficient, the whole drug discovery using AI technologies, basically.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned early stage breakthrough innovation. What did you mean by that? What is that? Unfold that term for me.
So as I mentioned, there is a lot is going on the let's say on the intersection. There is a lot that is going on with, for example, organ on a chip. To replace animal use. All this 3D printing using basically live cells is a very early stage. It's a breakthrough technology. 3D printing of organs, it's using it to test medicine. It's not something which is, obvious. Mm-hmm. So this type of things that we need to look for.
And is that common for every R&D group in the world to be looking at these not obvious things? Is it sort of a Merck global idea, or is this something that you're particularly excited to bring out from the Israeli ecosystem?
Well, the Israeli ecosystem is, of course, supporting heavily in this external innovation for Merck. Obviously, there's a lot of innovation coming up from the US and from Europe, but Israel, with its, as I mentioned, it all started 15 years ago when Merck has established here a R&D center, and I think that Merck is the only one in Israel that has an R&D center. And so this paid off because today we have, I mean, with this initiative, Merck has brought 2 blockbuster from the Israeli discovery. So basically, it paid off at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Being
very cool. Has research in your context changed much over the last, years as you've seen it emerge? You've been in Merck, I believe, 2009 or so. Have you observed sort of shifting mentalities in the way this research is done or the way these products are built? As we're progressing technologically, are we also advancing conceptually from the ways in which we're approaching these problem spaces, or the ways that we're thinking through how to generate early stage breakthroughs?
Yeah, I mean, technology has evolved so much, and you cannot, keep the old-fashioned way. Although the regulator, and I think that this pharmaceutical industry is heavily regulated by, as you know, FDA, EMEA. So I think that the advancement also should be at the regulatory path. Because we need to comply with what is required, and so there is conflict of I don't know if it's a conflict, but you need to close this gap between the breakthrough innovation, and you need to let's say, convince the regulators that this is the right path. So if that is happening, and if the regulator approves the drug with the new state-of-the-art technology, then it becomes, like a standard of use. So it's not easy. Nothing is easy, as you know. It's not the tech environment. It's much more traditional. It's much more heavier. It takes longer because we are dealing with patient lives. So,
right, that makes a lot of sense. So, one of the things that I really love about this show, and one of the reasons I do it, is to understand why people do what they do. So, I'm posing this question onto you now, Larisa. Why do you do what you do? Why have you been doing what you've been doing all these years? What excites you about it? What motivates you about it?
Well, I think, I don't know. I mean, as I said, ever since I remember myself, I wanted to do something meaningful. And I think that people normally would like to do something meaningful in life. And maybe it's related also to my, to my background. I mentioned before. I mean, as a child, as a daughter for a Russian immigrant who made Aliyah to Israel in the late 70s, I think I was 5 years old at the time, and without knowing the language or the culture, struggling to stand on my own feet in a new country. I think I could not rely on my parents, for help with school assignments or with question about, I don't know, this new, totally different culture. So basically I had to deal with everything by myself, and I tried to excel. And I think that, this is also what my parents have expected me to do, no matter what. And I think that this, notion or my ambition to raise the bar and challenging myself, but also my surrounding. I always challenge, my peers and colleagues. And I think that at Merck, I found this enabling environment, which is aligned with my curiosity and my ambition, my passion to challenge barrier and for this quest to bring impact and purpose. And I think this is what drives me, basically.
Larisa, thank you so much for your time, your energy, and the thoughtfulness. Best of luck with running Merck's R&D center in Israel. It's a very, it's very a lot of pride for the Israeli ecosystem, and I'm excited to see the breakthroughs and the innovation coming out of it. So really, thank you for your time and your energy, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.